At Beko, we produce some of the most technically advanced products in the world. And all of our innovations are driven by a common purpose, the wellness of our customers and the wellness of our planet. Beko.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the NKBA Live webinar series as we prepare for KBIS 2023. Today, we're going to cover KBIS Insights, which is a guide to show updates and additions. My name is Justin Reinke. I recently joined Beko as the Vice President of Marketing. Beko is very excited to be the proud sponsor of this NKBA webinar series. The whole Beko team's looking forward to KBIS 2023, and we're honored to be exhibiting again at the show. We'll be demonstrating how our brand focuses on sustainability and the healthy kitchen. So please be sure to come by and say hello during KBIS, and I look forward to meeting each of you and sharing that Beko story further. So now, to tell you more about KBIS Insights, it's my pleasure to introduce NKBA's EVP and Chief Strategy Officer, Susie Williford. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first KBIS 2023 Insights webinar. This will be one of 3 webinars about KBIS that will cover topics related to the show, with this first one today focused on what's new for 2023 at the show and about our exhibitors. Each of these 3 webinars are worth 0.1 CEU credits, so don't miss out on any of them. The other 2 will air on October the 27th and December the 1st. And I want to thank Beko for sponsoring all 3 of these webinars. We appreciate the support, not only for the NKBA, but for KBIS. Now, can I just say that there's a lot of new coming up for KBIS in Las Vegas, which, if you don't know by now, runs from January the 31st through February the 2nd. I also feel like we've just finished in Orlando. Can you believe that was nearly a year ago? And speaking of our last KBIS, it was hugely successful, a show that had upward of 70,000 attendees. That was the largest North American show post-COVID. Now that blew me away, and get ready for more greatness in 2023 because it is shaping up to be another amazing show with even more attendees, more exhibitors, and more fun events. Don't worry, we'll cover the events in our second webinar, so you're not going to miss out on that one. But for now, we're going to kick off today with NKBA's very own CEO, Bill Darcy, who is speaking with Hervé Sedky, President and CEO of Emerald Expositions, our longtime partner who produces KBIS for us. They're going to talk about KBIS and how it came to be part of Design and Construction Week, which is celebrating its 10th anniversary in 2023. And seriously, that decade really did fly by. So what's the next decade going to hold for Design and Construction Week? Who knows? Maybe we will be booking space on another planet. To find out, I'll turn it over to you, Bill.
Okay, thank you, Susie. Well, I cannot believe that in 2023, it will have been 10 years since we brokered the deal for Design and Construction Week with the NAHB. We definitely come a long way from when our 2 shows, KBIS and International Builders Show, joined forces to co-locate in Las Vegas for the first time in 2014. And look at us now, a powerhouse team that will attract nearly 100,000 attendees in Las Vegas for Design and Construction Week from January 31st to February 2nd, 2023. The week will also include the National Hardware Show, joining KBIS and IBS at the Las Vegas Convention Center for the first time. DCW has been an amazing partnership for both the NKBA and NAHB, our members, and certainly the industry at large. And also for Emerald, our longtime trusted partner, who's worked closely with the NKBA to produce KBIS for over 30 years. Yeah, that's a bit before my time at NKBA and also quite a bit before your time, Hervé. I mean, you joined Emerald in January 2021, coming from Reed Expositions and before that American Express. So your first real experience at Design and Construction Week was in Orlando in 2022. So based on your background and where you came from, and obviously observing KBIS from afar previously, what was your experience like?
Well, first of all, Bill, if I could thank you, Susie, Pam, and the whole team for asking me to be part of this webinar today. I do love talking about KBIS and Design and Construction Week in February 22. As you said, it was my first experience. It was an incredible show, and for us strategically as a company, really important because it was a proof of concept that in-person events are actually replaceable. We had gone through a couple of years of, as you know, real challenges in our industry, but we showed clearly that people are seeking these in-person interactions. They want to meet, they want to touch and feel the products that are being made. They want to meet people face to face. And that event was absolutely fantastic. It was, I understand, the largest trade event to stage in North America. And so collectively proud of the accomplishment of all the teams that were involved in doing that, and just an incredible event.
Yeah, I obviously we talked about this before, and when it was happening live, and I think we were all questioning our existence potentially going forward, even though we believe so strongly that in-person events are so important. Despite the challenges of traveling and everything else, the amount of people that showed up, I mean, it was mind-blowing to us, and really just wonderful to reinforce the importance of in-person events and all that comes with it. As we look ahead to our continued partnership with NAHB for DCW and of course with Emerald, what do you think the next 10 years will hold, and what impact those last 2 years will have on the nature of shows like KBIS and IBS going forward?
I think a couple of things. First of all, I think that we collectively have been able to prove that co-locations with the right partners do work. When you're bringing in common interests, common customers looking for similar things, you get exponentially more value for that collective market that we serve. So that was very pleased to see, and very pleased to see that we will continue to do that. And the addition of the National Hardware Show, as you mentioned, will also be a good test of our co-location strategy moving forward. One thing that we've also learned is that people are coming. They're coming in big numbers to the show, as you've mentioned, but they're signing up later than we had initially seen pre-pandemic. And so registrations are coming in a little bit later. And sometimes we actually, I believe for KBIS 22, we had like 10,000 attendees register the week before the show. And so there are some experiential things that we need to continue to do and focus on in order to adapt to the changing environments that we're in today. But over the next 10 years, we have to do a number of things. The use of data and technology is more important today than it was before. Customers, and whether in any sector that they're in, but in this sector in particular, are also consumers. And these consumers are looking for a real experiential experience. They're looking for personalization. They're looking for better ways for us to connect buyers and sellers. The sellers are looking for more leads. They want to facilitate more connections. And so, the reality is the only way for us to do that is to create better solutions. And that is going to be done through the use of technology, with the use of data. We've invested a ton of money, as you obviously know, in our customer data hub, which then allows us to leverage the data that exists today to add on some applications, some technology, which will create these new enhanced solutions for customers. So the experience over the next 10 years will change dramatically. The core of what we do will remain connecting buyers and sellers, providing leads, facilitating connections, but how we do it will continuously evolve.
This is what I love about Emerald and NKBA. We're so aligned on our approach as far as not just resting on laurels, realizing that this new customer is a different customer a little bit, but also continuing to push to what not only serves a trade in a trade environment, but really this trade person is a consumer, and they're using, buying things on Amazon and doing things on apps just like, all of us. And they expect their experiences to be in alignment with the conveniences they have, in technology area especially. So, I see shows like KBIS and IBS, unforgettable experiences and growing in strength. I think they stand out, more important in the world, where people, they're not just going to attend a bunch of different events and conferences. They have to invest money and time, and they really are looking for those events that really are different and large and can accomplish a lot of what they're trying to do with one airplane ride and a couple nights in the hotel. So you're just seeing, what we've seen. Companies that have sent, 1 or 2 or 12 or more people, they really need to justify how their investment on behalf of the company or the individual. So do you think that has a factor too, as far as, these companies or individuals attending a bunch of smaller events versus, investing most of their time in one big event?
Yeah, I think that success for us, I believe, will be to continue to offer customers a number of ways to accomplish the things that they want. So in order for us to be successful long-term, we have to be maniacally focused on the customer and what outcomes they are individually looking to drive. And we will continuously provide these kinds of experiences, and it will be a series of experiences. They could be online, like the one we have today, where you have webinars and so forth, content-based. So the use of content to share information, to provide leads to our customers all year round. We've invested heavily in a marketplace where you can actually buy and sell online 365 days a year. But it all will come together in this really important event once a year, twice a year, where you're really bringing the industry thought leadership together and delivering on the outcomes that our customers want. So the in-person event will remain the integral part of that entire annual customer experience. We need to focus on the outcomes that these customers want, and we need to deliver it at the annual event and through these other interactions that we can create all year. Again, as I mentioned, leveraging data, leveraging technology, tools like matchmaking and other solutions. Matchmaking in of itself, we know works really well. We see a dramatic improvement in Net Promoter Score from customers that we match. So as we provide matches to our customers and we measure their loyalty to the experience, it's significantly higher, like double-digit higher for customers that have in fact been matched. And that is why we're so focused on creating these experiences, both in person and also online using data and technology.
It's really exciting times for all of us here. When we years ago, people talked about virtual events replacing in-person events, and then of course COVID happened and accelerated our the expectations of virtual. And then we delivered this amazing event in 2022 and saw that in-person show up. And I think really finding that balance is what we've been seeking, and obviously what you're investing in with Emerald, with over 100 shows that you support and run to give the best customer experience possible. And I think we're just so thankful for what you guys do to support NKBA and the KBIS brand and execute just an amazing event. I'm always trying to keep ahead of the curve and innovate and inspire, to be the change agent that our team needs to be deliver really that highest level value for NKBA members through technology or forward-looking partners like you, Hervé. So I really thank you for taking your time to talk with us about KBIS coming up and share some of the insights about the exciting things that Emerald is doing. Anything else you'd like to share with our members and the industry about the future?
The only thing I'll share is we have actually more events than that. We have nearly 150 or 160 events a year. And the reason I raise it is just because I'm just so happy that we have our full complement of events back. So our entire calendar of events that we had pre-pandemic is back to where it was. I don't want anyone thinking that we have a lot fewer events than we did in the past. In terms of your point on, and I think you have been such an amazing partner in terms of really pushing the envelope and driving change and focusing on the customer outcomes. And I really appreciate that very much, because it's critical. It's critical that regardless of your position in the industry, that you're always fighting as an underdog, and that you are always thinking that you are behind and you need to do more. And I really think that a huge, and that is a massive component of our strategy, which is customer centricity, focusing on the customer, making the customer really the basis of the decisions that we make, understanding their needs at a more detailed level than we have in the past, investing in the kinds of things that they value to drive the outcomes that they want is critical. So I see the inspiration and the transformation of our industry and of our business at Emerald being focused on customer at the core, and very, very linked to that is our own talents. So investing in our people, making sure I really see my job as CEO as one like a coach. So my job is to make sure that we have the absolute best players playing the plays that we design. And on this team, with Brian Pago's leadership and the rest of the team, we have that. We have an incredible team that is really top in the industry, looking out for our customers and developing the solutions that we need in order to stay on top of it. So coaches hire the right people, motivate them, and incent them to do the right things for customers. Coaches design plays, and they constantly tweak and adjust as we go along in order to make sure that we constantly have the best play and that the best person is playing their role. And that's what you'll continue to see from us. We're maniacally focused on talent and customer.
Well, that's wonderful. You guys do an amazing job, and we also work very hard. We have an awesome team in NKBA, and Brian Pagel's leadership on the KBIS brand has been phenomenal over these years, and we couldn't be more pleased with working together with you all to really deliver the best experience for the attendee and the exhibitor. So thanks again for your time. I look forward to seeing you in Las Vegas for what looks like will be our biggest show yet. Thanks again, everybody.
I can't wait to see you in Las Vegas for sure. Thank you so much, Bill.
Okay, Susie, back to you.
That was great conversation. And Hervé, I love your perspective on the future of trade shows. I couldn't agree more. In fact, at this upcoming KBIS, there will be so much going on that I don't think 3 days will be enough. But I know that Bill and I will certainly try to do everything, and there will definitely be no sleeping at KBIS. Now, here to talk more about what's happening at the 2023 show is Veronica Miller, a longtime friend and NKBA partner who is the CEO of Modanis Media and founder of Design Hounds and a podcast called Design Uncut. Hello, Veronica, and welcome to our first KBIS Insights webinar. Thank you so much for joining me today. I always look forward to talking to you. We have great conversations.
Indeed, we do. These are the conversations that make stuff happen. Thank you so much for having me, Susie. It's a pleasure to be here and to be talking about both of our favorite topic, KBIS.
Absolutely. Thank you. And it's time, and now it's the time of year when we ramp up for the big event. I don't know if you saw Bill and Hervé talking about Design and Construction Week, and that 2023 will be its 10th anniversary. I mean, I remember when we signed that agreement. Great move on all of our parts. But now we have to top that last decade's worth of first with another decade of innovation of shows. That's why people keep coming back. And speaking of which, Veronica, you have your finger on the pulse on what's going on in the design market. And that means you know what everyone is looking forward to this year at KBIS. So why don't you tell us what you're hearing out there, what everyone is talking about regarding the show, and what you are personally excited about seeing?
Well, Susie, first and foremost, people are really looking for the experience. That has become such a big core piece of what KBIS has put together in years past, and I can only imagine that's going to be even bigger and better in 2023 when I look at the programming that's being planned for the show. Beyond that, buyers, designers, everybody start for new products, new technologies, especially coming out of the COVID years. This year's show was amazing for what it was, but now R&D is really pushing ahead. Buyer manufacturer confidence is at an all-time high. They're all busy. They're not seeing that changing. So you could say now we're really cooking. And designers want all the great innovations and inspirations in design of course, in technology and those core areas of wellness, sustainability, and all these topics that really matter to them. But they want those solutions to be meaningful and useful so that they can be integrated into projects really in an impactful way.
That's great. You know what I'm excited about? Just getting together with everyone, seeing all the new booths, the products, and yes, the people who come to the show for the first time. In 2022, we had an incredible amount of new attendees, and I'm looking forward to that for 2023 too. You know, it's always so great to see how amazed people are by the energy and the buzz and the sheer scope of KBIS. People walk in those doors and they're like, wow. And speaking of scope, I'm very excited. I know we have a bigger Global Connect presence on the floor this year. No surprise, considering how successful the booth and the programming was last year. It was like standing room only for most of the programming, which we were very excited about. So Veronica, why don't you tell us what we can look forward to for Global Connect this year at KBIS?
Absolutely, and what you just said is so true. It's the people. The people matter, and now we have this influx with international audiences and international exhibitors to just add to that buzz at KBIS. So at KBIS this year, we will of course again have the Global Connect Pavilion, which we kicked off very successfully earlier this year. It's divided into 3 areas or 3 programs: spaces, spotlights, and sessions. Spaces are small kiosks where first-time exhibitors that come to KBIS can kind of tease the market and digitally present their company to get the feedback to see if our market is interested in them. So it's a great place to toe dip. They will also have the opportunity to present in our spotlight sessions. So those are kind of rapid fire, quick demonstrations and conversations about their brand and their products. And then we'll have a whole set of programming sessions in the area as well, where we're talking about international design, about NKBA's national design trend findings. So it's really a great place for people that are interested in international interaction, both ways, to come together. We also have an international pavilion program, and I get to hint that there are other additional international pavilions in the works right now, but the one we're probably really looking forward to is to see the vast expansion of the German pavilion, which has been done in collaboration with the 2 German associations, VDM and AMK, as well as the German government. And at last count, we were somewhere over 16,000 square feet for that area. And then finally, we have our Global Connect delegation program this year, which again allows association representatives, brands that have never visited KBIS, media even, to come and check out the show as VIPs to really get an understanding of what it's all about. Rather than trying to do this on their own, they get to be part of a bigger group program.
Wow. You know, KBIS has always had an international element to it, very respectable one, but it's now really becoming a truly international show. And it is going to be so much fun. I just can't wait. You know, I was just in Berlin at IFA, the trade show for consumer electronics and home appliances. It was huge, and lots of people I met knew about KBIS. We were really flattered. So many people recognized the name and said what a beautiful show it was. I'm not sure many of them had actually been to KBIS, but they knew about the show and they said they wanted to come. Which brings me to our newest Global Connect initiative, where we will be hosting an international buyers tour at KBIS, giving them a VIP experience. Can you talk a little about what that entails and any other new programs?
This one right now is such a big, big deal. This program really has us inviting to apply. So we will have a vetted group of international buyers. By buyers, we mean wholesalers, retailers, distributors from really hot international markets. The United Arab Emirates will be on the scene. As well as several European countries will be invited to participate in that, and a few further afield as well. So this is going to be a really rich experience. And the goal here is to open up the North American market to these European buyers and bring them in and help them understand how efficient, faster, and probably price-wise very competitive sourcing in the North American market can be. We were very excited to put this in front of North American exhibitors at KBIS that are already trading internationally, but also to those that are thinking about maybe looking at international markets. Here's a great opportunity for them to sit down, network with those folks, focus group with them, and really spend some time and understand whether these North American products would do well in those foreign markets.
Wow. That's also exciting, isn't it, Veronica? We've been working on this for so long. I'm so happy to see it grow to be so successful. Anyway, we're kind of running out of time here. Is there anything else you wanted to highlight at KBIS, something about the show that we really haven't talked about yet?
Yeah, the one thing that we're bringing back, of course, as you know, we've been a media partner for the show for a very long time, since 2013. And so we are bringing back our Design House influencers. That'll be Design House KBIS as every year for the 11th year. So we actually started back in New Orleans before there was even the co-location with the International Builder Show. I feel old. These are 20 design influencers that are specifically tasked to cover the show and sponsors on the show floor. And what happens with those guys, because we always dip in, we always bring a couple of veterans into the program. We also bring a lot of newbies with us in this program who have great social media outlets, but may not have ever been to KBIS before. So we're constantly bringing in new audiences and connecting with new people out in the market that often in the next year follow and come to KBIS on their own. We will also have our 7th year of the Design Milk by Medena's Talks Lounge, which will be comprised of 13 presentations over 3 days. Focuses design business, futurism, but then also audience discussions to really learn from them what they want and need right now. Everybody listening, come early and stay late. It's going to be worth it.
Wow, that's a lot. You know, and you think about what you're doing with the lounges and then our conference and next stage, there's going to be so much. People will go back with information and education and new products. We are so excited to be back in Vegas because it's like going home again for us. They just make it so easy for a show like ours, for our attendees and our exhibitors. Well, Veronica, thank you. As always, I enjoyed talking with you, and thank you for your KBIS insights. I'm sure our audience appreciates hearing your take on the show and what they can look forward to.
Thank you so much, Susie. It's always a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you in Vegas.
Me too. Now, I want to remind all of you out there who are NKBA members that you can register for KBIS through mid-October for free. So you've only got a few more weeks to make your move. And if I were you, I'd do it fast, since the show, the event, and even the city is going to sell out fast. Next up, to talk about just how fast KBIS is selling out and what's new on the show floor for 2023 are two very key people from Emerald Expositions, our partner who produces the show for us. Brian Pagel, Executive Vice President of Emerald, and Jason McGraw, Group Vice President of KBIS for Emerald. Hi, Brian and Jason. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hey, Susie. Thanks so much for having us.
Good to see you again, Susie.
Well, it's good to have you all here. So I have to say, everything I've been seeing tells me this is going to be a blowout year for KBIS. I mean, it seems to me that everything I've read in those reports y'all send me show that we are sold out or just about there. Do I have that right, Brian?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. We're excited. We've had an exceptional response from the market this year. We've already sold well over 400,000 net square feet of exhibit space. And at this point, we're expecting we're going to be sold out before too long. But for any of those brands that are interested, don't worry. We still have some space left, but it is going quickly. You know, we're also seeing, even in the early stages, some really promising signs on registration. And of course, we're way ahead of where we were this time last year. But we're really tracking against pre-COVID, and I'm really excited that we're back to pre-COVID levels. So we've got a lot of good things going on. The market's responding positively, so I think we're in for a really good show.
Wow. Can I just say wow again? But that's really no surprise, right? We're back in Vegas. for one, which is always great. And also everyone's itching to see new products and new trends, and where else can they do that all under one roof? So that's a big part of it. And, I think that last year was kind of a warm up for this year, and everybody kept saying this is going to be a big one. And that's quite a new roof that we're under this year in the Las Vegas Convention Center, right, Jason? Jason and I have been out there. Can you speak a bit about the new state-of-the-art West Hall where many of our exhibitors will be, and are there any updates on the North Hall?
That's right, Susie. It'll be a very different experience at KBIS 23 and Design and Construction Week coming up, with the addition of 1.4 million net square feet of new exhibit space in the West Hall, $1 billion addition to the convention facility, including a new underground loop tunnel that with Tesla cars that connects between the various halls of the building and also over to the Resorts World casino and hotel. It's a new experience this year. Half of our show will be located over in the West Hall, and the other half will be in the entire North Hall for the 23 show. So we have major brands in both halls. They connect with a sky bridge across the street between the two buildings. It's a short 10-minute walk between the two halls. It's a can't miss event in both halls, and equally balanced out. So it's going to be a great new unique experience. But the West Hall is magnificent. Awesome new lobby area, food service areas, meeting spaces, lobby spaces, and really kind of elevates the whole KBIS experience for 2023.
Wow, it's so exciting. I can't wait to see it all come together in January. Funny thing is, you would think after all these years I wouldn't get excited, but just hearing you talk about it, I'm like, boom, I can't wait. I know that many of our major brands have already started on their booth designs. Every year, it seems they get more extravagant, more beautiful, and I really can't even imagine what they will do when they are back in Vegas. Can I get some insight from you, Jason, on what some of our key players are doing this year, or any standouts that you know of?
Well, we have many of our fabulous leading brands from the industry all returning to the show this year. Beko, Wilson Art, Kohler, and Delta, with some of the largest booths they've ever had at KBIS for 23. Also mentioning Kohler is going to celebrate their 150th anniversary next year, so that's exciting. Toto, Cambria, Electrolux, Moen, House of Roll, Karan, Pfister, all those major brands, including our next stage. And then over in the West Hall, the new space, we'll also share that with a portion of the Builder Show show floor. But we also have SKS, LG, the GE brands, Cafe Monogram Profile. We have Miele over there, Samsung, our outdoor pavilion, home technology pavilion, Kickstarter pavilion, and a host of hundreds of other exhibitors in that hall. So we have many of the top brands on the show. They're all preparing their latest new products for display. And more importantly, they have magnificent high design exhibit display. So you're walking into, the most spectacular experiences in these large booths at the show. And then there's dozens, if not hundreds, of smaller exhibitors as well that have new and interesting products in all categories. So there's a world of discovery at KBIS that awaits for the 2023 show.
Yeah, and if I could add to that, Jason, when you hit on the smaller booths, we've got over 60 brands that are new, first time at KBIS, and it's really nice to see that over the years KBIS established such a big reputation for launching new products and new brands within the market. So we're excited to see all these new products and brands coming to KBIS.
Well, that's all great news. Love that we have these new brands. When I was in the industry, I would always come and find these special things that I wouldn't find any other place. There was no other way to find them but to come to KBIS. So it was something I look forward to every year. It just goes to show you the power of KBIS and what we have built over the years. I mean, we have these specials areas that we've really expanded our reach. And the wellness pavilion, the home technology pavilion, the outdoor pavilion. Jason, what's new for them this year at the show?
Well, those areas you just mentioned, Susie, will be located in the new West Hall. So we've balanced out the feature areas both in the North and the West Hall. So there's attractions not only from the fabulous top brands in both halls, but we have these focus areas as well. And as you mentioned, we have outdoor living pavilion on the floor. We have our new home tech pavilion. We're recruiting brands from smart home solutions, from lighting, wellness, and design technologies that are going into the new living experiences in the home. We also have the return of the Kickstarter zone on the show floor. And Brian, perhaps you could give us some more details about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Kickstarter is a great new program that we started this last year. Our goal was to provide emerging brands with new innovative products a chance not just to participate at KBIS, but really shine. In addition to a dedicated area on the floor, we help out these brands with some general marketing support, but really the highlight is they get to pitch their products to industry professionals. So this is a juried program. The winner will get $5,000, which we're pretty excited about. But more importantly, there's also the People's Choice Award, which is always fun. It's all of our attendees throughout the show will have an opportunity to vote on what they really think is the best new innovative program as part of Kickstarter.
On top of all that, NKBA will be celebrating our 60th anniversary, and Design and Construction Week will be 10 years old. We have talked about everything but the fact that we have a new show with us at Design and Construction Week, the National Hardware Show. That's fantastic and makes it all that much more fun and more to see. But I'm not sure everyone out there has heard how the show will work with KBIS and IBS. Would one of you like to elaborate on how this will work?
Yeah, Susie, we're really excited to have the National Hardware Show join Design and Construction Week in 2023. You know, we've always sought to find other like events that add more value for our exhibiting brands and more value for our audience. And I think this is going to check those boxes. So the National Hardware Show is actually going to appear in the South exhibit halls at the Las Vegas Convention Center and will be co-dated with our event. So attendees that come to KBIS will also have access to the National Hardware Show. But don't forget, we also have the benefit of surfaces taking place at Mandalay Bay during our show, as well as the International Market Centers and their winter market will be taking place. So we've created plenty of opportunities for our attendees to also check out those events as well. So you can really get the most out of your time in Las Vegas.
Well, this is definitely going to be over the top, crazy, wonderful week in Las Vegas. And I don't know about y'all, but I cannot wait. I think it's important. I've said this before, make sure you register for free through mid-October if you're an NKBA member, but even more importantly, make your reservations. That's going to be a very busy week in Las Vegas. Brian, Jason, thank you both for your time today. I really do appreciate your time and all the details that you've shared with us and all you do for our show. Really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Susie. It's always a pleasure. And, clearly, thank you for everything that the NKBA does to lead our market forward. It's really such a great thing, and we can't wait for KBIS.
Thanks, Susie. I'll remind everybody to visit kbiz.com, and we'll see you in Las Vegas in January.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Well, that was quite a download of information for our first KBIS Insights webinar. I think we have a very good idea of what the show floor will be like, what our exhibitors will be doing, and what people are looking forward to. And you know what I'm looking forward to? Our very next KBIS webinar on Thursday, October 27th, when we get to talk about all of the new events, activations, and programming, plus what's new in Las Vegas. Once again, I want to thank Becco for sponsoring our KBIS webinars. Without your partnership, we couldn't bring all this information to our members, so we really do appreciate your support. Well, that's all for now. Thank you for joining me today, and remember to register for KBIS by mid-October because it's absolutely free for NKBA members. See y'all next time. Bye.